Hi, I'm Jayd Hernandez, a camouflage tattoo artist and educator. I help beauty bosses effectively market their business and become the authority in their field, close more leads, and make more money. In the past 6 years, I've launched 2 successful beauty businesses to multiple 6 figures with over 100 5-star raving reviews and several media press spotlights. While most marketers will tell you to hustle and work harder for success, I'll show you how to create more value from the inside out so that you work less, make more, and truly expand and transform your business and life. This is the Beauty Expanded Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. I'm hoping that the new year is starting off on a great and positive foot for you. If I sound a little off, it's because I'm recovering from a slight cold. I ended up taking 2 weeks off myself and spent the New Year's up north in Arizona. We did an Airbnb and it was just my family in the middle of nowhere on a 2-acre lot, and it was amazing. I have actually decided that that is exactly how I love spending my New Year's Eve, in peace and quiet, solitude, by a fireplace, and cozy jammies, and also being able to take that 2 weeks off and just really focus on going within and getting clear on my intentions for the new year. So I think that's going to be our tradition every year. In this episode, I wanted to talk about the concept of confidence. Especially being in the beauty industry, we are very fixated on how we can help improve the confidence in others. And I've always believed that in order to truly help others feel more confident and comfortable in their skin and their body, it's much easier when you as an artist or the technician or the vehicle from which that confidence can be inspired into someone else is confident yourself. And in this episode, I wanted to talk to you about what I believe confidence is and where my own confidence stems from. It's never an external thing. When I talk about external, I'm talking about someone's appearance, or maybe what they wear, or maybe what they have and their social status. Confidence doesn't come through that. I think we can all relate to meeting someone who on the outside seems like they have everything. They have the perfect smile, the perfect teeth, the perfect family, the perfect features, the perfect body, all of the above. And when you actually get to know them, or even just have a simple conversation with them, your attraction to them begins to fade. And have you ever wondered why that happens? 1 could be the energy. 2, they could be a really unhappy person. They could be the most insecure person, negative person, and that all has to do with the internal vibration in which they carry themselves, which is actually where confidence stems from. And yet, hearing this and experiencing it, how many of you still seek out to become more confident in yourself or to feel more confident through all the external things that you think will give you confidence? Sure, the external things like working out, eating healthy, being fit, taking care of your skin can all help support the feeling of confidence. But really, it's internal work that solidifies confidence within yourself. When I was younger, I didn't grow up in a family that talked about confidence, self-esteem, or even the value of who you were in this world and in this family. It was actually quite the opposite. My family was pretty dysfunctional, and I never heard my parents tell me that they loved me. It was very, very rare, and they were not affectionate. I look at my son today, and I constantly show him through affection, appreciation, and even respect of how much I value him in my life and how wonderful of a person he is simply by just being him. I make sure to be really intentional with that so he doesn't think that his value stems from just being a good boy versus a bad boy, but that he truly knows his worth is valuable simply for being his authentic, real self, like his essence. Doesn't have to be any more or any less of anything for me to love him. And yet, despite growing up in a family that had very opposite dynamics, how did I become the person that I am to be able to give what I give and to know what I know, including the value that I offer and bring into this world? And so I've been sitting with that this morning, and that's what inspired this podcast. When I thought of creating Beauty Expanded and even naming my podcast after that, really was the intention of expanding the concept of beauty. Because on a very superficial 3D layer, beauty is all external. Being in the beauty industry, beauty can often become a very inauthentic expression of confidence. And I really wanted to deepen that and expand the term, thought, and energy beyond the external forces of what we get wrapped into so much when we think about confidence. When I was younger, living in the circumstance that I was in, I went through many evolvements of re-identifying and changing my identity as I grew up. And I've done some modeling in the past where on the outside, it really did look like I was super confident. I would show up to pool parties wearing the tiniest bikinis. I worked out twice a day, had a really amazing fit body, and I showed it off and was bold in how I showed up in the world. And from the outside, it probably looked like I was an extremely confident person. But inside, now looking back at the girl that I was very insecure. I had a lot of doubts, and I overcompensated a lot of my doubts through putting a shield out there, an avatar, an outside personality of someone who was so bold to show up at pool parties, literally wearing a thong bikini with rhinestones to help hide and shield myself from the person that actually felt insecure and self-conscious in the inside. And it wasn't until I really dived into my own personal development and spirituality that I began to unpeel the layers of things I was hiding from myself with the intention of protecting myself. It wasn't until I began to unpeel those layers and really get uncomfortable with seeing who I was on the inside did I become more confident and truly comfortable in my own skin. Confidence is very multidimensional. It's layered in so many things, such as our life experiences that carve out how we read the world and our interpretations of people, of our value, of our business, of our relationships. It's also layered in how we treat ourselves from the inside out, not only by taking care of ourselves physically, but mentally, emotionally, how we treat others, including the planet, and also our connection to something outside of ourselves. Whether you call it God, universe, divine intelligence, spirituality, all of those things make up for confidence. According to the dictionary, confidence is the state of feeling certain about the truth of something. So where confidence is built is by trusting in yourself. And in order to trust yourself, you have to know yourself. So I would say confidence truly stems from a knowing of self. Obviously, you guys have heard me say I'm an advocate for personal development and personal growth. And the reason why is because I think getting to know yourself is the greatest blessing and gift you can give to yourself. It's the best return on investment because once you truly can see and be with yourself, you're going to help others value themselves. When people meet me, they will usually tell me that I seem to be a really confident person. And the reason why they feel a sense of confidence within me actually has nothing to do with how I look, but has everything to do with how I carry myself because I'm a very secure person. And so when I step into a group or a networking function or just even to a restaurant and meeting with someone briefly, there is a calm reverence about me. And that is my essence. That is just truly who I am. I don't work for that. It's not something hard to do. It's just the energy in which I carry myself naturally. So it's my essence. It's who I am at my core and in my heart. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you've spoken to someone and you can't really explain it, but you were easily drawn to them. And it wasn't because of how good looking or attractive they were or whether or not they had the most perfect body, but it was something about their personality. It was their essence. It was their confidence. Confidence plays on an energetic level. And it's interesting because a lot of people are drawn to confident people but they can't necessarily comprehend what it is. I know for me, it's very easy for me to see others. And the only reason why I can is because I've been able to expand and deepen the way that I see myself. And that's given me the room and the ability and space to be able to see others in a much deeper way because I've allowed that and practiced that within myself. You can't give what you don't have. So the deeper that you look within yourself, the more intimate you are. And so the more intimate you can be with other people. And intimacy is a really funny thing because a lot of people are very uncomfortable sometimes being seen. I think everyone wants to be seen and validated, but when they're in that space where someone can see them deeper than they can see themselves, it can either be releasing or it can be challenging and almost confrontational. So where I wanted to go with in this podcast was to really help broaden the subject of confidence and where it truly comes from, and for you to reflect on how confident you feel as a person, not just an artist, but what your true gifts are and how you can begin to uncover them and use them to help others in a deeper way that you serve. So for example, growing up in the dysfunctional family that I was in, there was full of abuse, all kinds, from mental, emotional, to physical and sexual. And because I never knew going home from school what situation I was going to walk into, I lived walking on eggshells with my parents. I never knew when they were going to be triggered. And so every time I would come back from school, I had to grow a sixth sense into being able to read the situation as soon as possible, even to the point of my parents picking me up. I had to begin to read their emotions, their mental state immediately because it became a survival skill for me so that I could try and protect myself and my brother as best as I could. Being able to read people and understand people and read a situation in a room was heightened and became a survival instinct for me. How I've been able to use that to my advantage now that I'm not in that situation, and I definitely don't walk into a household where I feel like I have to walk on eggshells, but how that's evolved and transitioned for me on a business level and even on a personal level is I have the capabilities of being able to read people and understand people and what they truly want. So through my marketing efforts, for example, I have turned what was a survival instinct into a natural gift to be able to speak to people through my marketing. And ultimately, I do believe that people want to feel more comfortable in who they are. They want certainty. They want to feel seen, validated. They want to be valued. And because a lot of us don't necessarily invest in the internal work, a lot of us are more invested in external work of hustling hard and working to make money. I think confidence has become an illusion, or it's been distorted by thinking that it's all external when really it's everything to do with internal. And the reason why my prospects and my clients feel more confident when they decide to work with me, well, I would say that they're drawn to confidence even before hiring me is because I'm for certain a confident person. And it's an energy thing, even if they're not necessarily aware of it. It is an energetic pull that I have maybe over some of my colleagues who haven't done the work. Of course, there's certainly people who would feel more comfortable with someone else because they're at a different stage in their life. It's one thing to become more competent as an artist and through experience become more confident in your technique and how you tattoo. But it's another thing to truly embody confidence and be able to create a space and opportunity for a client to awaken that within themselves. So as you're listening to this and there's room for you to build up confidence from within yourself and you want to, I would say the first thing is to really get to know yourself. And you can't get to know yourself by just yourself. Seeking out coaching programs, reading books to really begin to reflect on who you are on a soul level, not just on a human body external level, is where you can begin to bridge that intimacy within yourself. And things are going to be uncovered about yourself that you may feel uncomfortable with or not proud of. And that's okay, because we're humans. So we make mistakes, and we're all here on earth to learn our own lessons. But to begin to uncover those things and to still love yourself despite your flaws is truly where confidence begins to bloom. Because the more comfortable you are within yourself, the more secure you are. You can put yourself out there on social media and not feel threatened if someone rejects you or judges you, because no matter how they judge you or what they think of you, your own thoughts and love, your esteem for yourself overrides anything else anyone could say. And that's a lot of personal power. To be able to have that kind of confidence speaks volumes in who you are as a person and what you can actually bring into this world. Not only that, but confidence has a trickling effect. Not only does it inspire other people to look within themselves and to treat themselves better and to really get to know themselves and for them to find their own personal power, but it also changes your relationships with people. I always think it's very revealing when people don't have close, intimate friendships with other women or even their spouse. When there's a lack of intimacy in your life, there's a lack of meaning and purpose. Oftentimes, people who have a very hard time building intimate and close friendships with people is really because they're not comfortable with being vulnerable. Vulnerability is one of the founding principles of intimacy. And so if you don't feel comfortable being who you are 100% authentically with someone else because you have these thoughts spinning around that they're going to judge you and neglect you and reject you and you're going to be all alone, then you'll never put yourself out there to be judged. And I think that's so disheartening to see in a lot of people that I meet. Someone who's confident in themselves can be intimate with anyone. Of course, there's discernment, and you have to know who you can be truly open with and who might not necessarily care for it. And it's not because you're afraid that they're going to reject you. It's just they're on a different playing field as you. And so why waste your time and energy with that? I look at my husband and I and our relationship, and our marriage is one of the easiest things in my life. A lot of that is because we both know who we are individually as well as at each other, if that makes sense. Like, he knows himself very well, and he also knows who I am very well. And the reason why he's able to read me so well is because he knows himself as deeply as he knows me. Your depth in yourself is the ability in which you can see someone else's depth. And so back to the definition of confidence, the state of feeling certain about the truth of who you are at the very core, including all the good and all the bad, and still being your own very best friend, advocate, mentor, challenger. Are you willing to look at the depths of yourself? And are you willing to get uncomfortable with yourself and still be okay with that? Are you willing to be vulnerable with yourself? If confidence was so easy to have, everyone would have it already. But obviously, being in the beauty industry, you know and see on a daily basis that people do struggle with confidence. And I would say, to be fully transparent, a lot of you also struggle with confidence yourself. So if this is something that 2022 has in store for you, because you see the value and gift it would be to be confident in yourself and to appreciate and respect and honor yourself in that way, then these are the questions I would ask myself. And I would seek out guidance and mentors who can really help bridge this intimacy within and see where it leads you. I can promise you it will begin to change your life and those you serve, because on an energetic level, you will be able to see them and validate and honor their existence, even if they can't see it in themselves yet. So until the next one, I'll talk to you soon. Make it a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'd love to connect and help you more. If you have a question you'd like for me to answer, please send it to jayd@studioconceal.com. That's JAYD@studioconceal.com, and I might highlight it on my podcast. I find what's often personal is most general. So if this episode helped you, please share it with a friend who may need the encouragement and inspiration. I'll catch you on the next one.